What's going on, y'all? And welcome back. Today I'm going to give you a trash course on trash bashing.
What's going on? And welcome back. So you clicked on this video because you want to make something out of trash. And in this case, some of the best trash comes from everyday use, like this 5-hour energy bottle. It helps keep me awake on the road, and I get to go home to my family. So in my opinion, it's a pretty good piece of trash. Really, what inspired the whole build itself was the black bottle cap. I'd been looking at that for months, and I was like, oh, that looks so much like, I don't know, a droid or a robot helmet, you know? So I decided to roll with it. The best thing for me to do was to use that 5-hour energy drink bottle as the body, and then drill some holes, stuff some armature wire through for the arms and legs to build a frame. After I build out the frame of the body, I go through all my bins looking through all the little pieces of trash that I have. Some of this trash comes from stuff that I've taken apart, some of it comes from everyday use, just depends. What looks good on you, use it. Bulk out the body, and give yourself a building surface. Some good bits include things with textures. And you can never go wrong with bits from spray bottles and soap bottles. They make great bits. Like these two bits, they already look like feet. The thing about trash bashing is not necessarily having the bits you want or the bits you need. It's about having pieces of garbage that just fit. It's like a puzzle or a sculpture, just waiting to be carved out. And around my house, with kids, there's no shortage of good pieces of trash. From squeezy yogurt lids to broken bits of toys because my 3-year-old son likes to throw tantrums and just break his things, which I understand. I also like to take things apart for no good reason. And you might be wondering or asking questions about how you get one terrible piece of cheap plastic to stick to another terrible piece of cheap plastic. And honestly, it's a ton of super glue, like a lot of super glue, and hot glue, and then more super glue, and some kicker, and then some more hot glue, and then just a little bit more super glue with some baking powder. And most of the times when you add enough of those into anything plastic, it's gonna stick. You know, you could always try to fuse the two together with melting or welding or some sort of the matter, but yeah, super glue most of the time does the trick. Just be careful though, it does like to stick to flesh best out of anything you could try to stick super glue to. It seems like flesh is the go-to material to stick to first. And I'm definitely a scientific man myself. Trial and error is how I learn most of the things I know, and believe me, I'm telling you from knowledge and experience that super glue and flesh go hand in hand like 50-year-old dads in socks and sandals in the summertime. It's a bitter but truthful combination, and I try to avoid it as much as possible.
And speaking of trial and error, I had these really cool t-shirts made. They say End of the Trail Hobby Show Research and Development. So if you want to be a part of the research and development team and support me and my channel, go ahead and head on over to my Instagram and pick up one. They're Comfort Colors t-shirt brand. They're really good, and you definitely want to be a part of the research and development team. It's a ridiculous team. Everybody runs off of caffeine and nicotine, and mainly they spend most of their time super gluing their fingers together and getting burnt by hot wire cutters. Oh, and shocked by static grass applicators. At any rate, yeah, t-shirt, go get you one.
Aside from all that overly expensive ad marketing on t-shirts, back to the build. So the next step after you have the body and the mass of your trash bot built, you want to go into your bits box, and I put all these together with maybe $20 worth of junk bought from the Mighty Dollar. And the Mighty Dollar is a holy place when you're looking for bits and greeblies and detail pieces. And basically we're just going to go through this and pick out bits that might look good. Not going to use all of them to pick out, but some of them, and maybe dip in for some more later. This is how it goes when you're loading with trash and looking for good greeblies to make trash look good. So like I said earlier, the best way to get slick, cheap plastic to stick to slick, cheap plastic is by using a lot of super glue. In this case, I take an X-Acto knife and I normally stab the piece of plastic that I'm working on, and I dip it into super glue that I've squirted out, and then I stick it on to the model. Seems to work pretty well. One of the more challenging parts of this build was trying to figure out how to make a hand. However, there is a special person out there that uses beads and wire and super glue to make about any type of hand you could think of, or claw. His name is Bill over at Bill Making Stuff. He's a red coat fella, but he's pretty good at crafting and doing what he does. So if you want to figure out how to use beads in the proper manner that beads are supposed to be used, go check out Bill Making Stuff. He's a really good guy and a even more handsome dad, I think. I've never met him. Not too difficult to figure out though. I used Floral Wire and pulled it through a large bead to make the skeleton of the fingers for the bot. Then I used tiny little tube beads and little round beads and more little tube beads to make the hand. I then curled the wire over the tip of the fingers and then super glued everything a lot to try to get it to stick. And then a little bit of hot glue and push it into the arm socket, and voila! We have ourselves a scrap bot hand. And of course, I can't resist the simple temptations of styrene. Styrene has become hands down one of my favorite crafting materials. Now I know what you're thinking, that's not trash. You said this was going to be a trash bash, and that's obviously not trash. You're right, it's not trash, but it makes trash beautiful. I mean, what can I say? Sometimes you can't find the bit you're looking for in the world. I was going to say nature, but you can't, I don't know. I guess at this point plastic is part of nature, right? I mean, we all have a credit card's worth of plastic in our bodies. At any rate, to get back on subject, styrene is awesome. You can cut this in about any form or shape you can think of. With a little bit of heat, you can bend it to any shape you need. You don't even have to cut all the way through this stuff. Just a little scratch through the surface. You could break it apart like you're putting drywall up. And then to glue it on, just dip it in super glue and stick it to. I like to use styrene to bring out all kinds of little details and make greeblies into certain parts. And really it's all about the maker and what you're trying to achieve. If it looks functional to you, then that's all that matters. To hell with everything else. Now at some point in your build, everything will start to come alive. And you'll see a character developing in front of your eyes. In my mind, this guy was a soldier bot. He was created by humans to kill other humans. But after all the humans had been vanquished off the face of the earth, and he was left to roam the wasteland alone, after 100 years in radiation and weathering in the hot sun, the computer chip that inhibited him started to degrade. He was able to self-learn, and he started using different parts of scrap around the world to customize himself. Now he spends his days looking for other bots that are lonely and roaming the wasteland, and returns them to a sanctuary that he's built. He's kind of like a hero, but maybe not so much a hero because he still kills other bots, but that's only if he can't get through to them and teach them that, coming back with him to the sanctuary is a good thing, and he will benefit, and they will benefit from that. He sometimes kills things. That's why his arm is a giant gun and flamethrower. Yeah. Can't resist that. That's just badass in my mind. After all that, I adorned him with a beautiful heroic cape made out of 2mm HD foam, which I get from SKS Props. It was on to the painting process. I started the painting process by using a little bit of light brown and a neon orange, mixing those together and making a rust. I dabbled it all over his body and all the places that I thought would have received a little bit of weathering, or a lot of weathering. I ended up covering almost all the model in rust. After that, I used the same process I used on my Junker spaceship from the same universe that's developing itself in my mind. A little bit of art masking fluid. Then once the paint job is done, you can peel this off and it reveals the rust underneath. It makes it look fairly realistic. Painted the base of the model and all his armor in an olive drab. I wanted to use this color because it gave off the soldier manufactured by the army vibe that I was going for. I used a dark yellow to undertone a rose gold finish to make a copper-esque look. I think it turned out looking kind of copper. I did this on the dove and all the rivets and a couple other details across his body. I used a few different shades of brown and some dry brushing to give him a tethered leather cape. Then after peeling away that art masking fluid, I then went back over with a deep red rust color and dabbled on all over his body to bring out some of the rust that I had toned down before. Last but not least, the only thing left to do was to give him a wash. I used black acrylic paint and water. There are some other ways to do washes, but this is my go-to. And then filmed it before it was dry, of course, why not?
So yeah, here he is. All of this inspired by this one bottle cap, and he's found his home in the wasteland, i.e. my shelf over there full of other little things I've built. Trash bashing is probably the most fun thing I do or have done so far since I started doing all this stuff. Really enjoy just taking bits of garbage and gluing them together and coming up with something like this. I mean, it's really cool. It's fascinating. At any rate, if you haven't yet, hit the like button and share my video to one of your friends. If you don't care, that'd be awesome for more people to check out trash bashing and try it for themselves. If you want one of my t-shirts, go check out my Instagram. I'm going to post them. You could just send me a message and we'll figure all the logistics out later. Be sure to subscribe. You're not going to find any better trash throughout the entirety of the internet than you will right here on my channel. And well, what's the point in making all this if I can't share it on YouTube, you know? Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all on the other end of the trail.
Droid.
Just wait for me to get this right, and then you can tap it. I'll give you a cue, like I'll do this. Alright. What's going on, y'all? Today I'm going to give you a trash course on trash bashing. Nope, wait. I messed it up. Just make it fast. What's going on, y'all? Nope. This takes forever. And cut. That's a wrap.
I was afraid to hurt you.